In today's video, we're going to discuss the question, if you have faith, why do you need a gun? Let's talk about it. All right, we are talking about the first article of the Apostles' Creed. The Creed is a statement of faith that dates, for those who are not familiar, dates back to the fourth century?
Some think it dates earlier than that. The reason that it's referred to as the Apostles' Creed is because it contains doctrine that was taught by the apostles, who, of course, learned from Christ Jesus himself. There are 12, even though as Lutherans we have it broken into the three articles for each person of the Trinity. There's 12 statements, you could say, within the Apostles' Creed. So they said, well, there was one from each of the apostles. Don't know which one was from Judas, but
Right.
Just a little bit of New Testament trivia for you. Matthias replaced Judas, so there you have it.
Okay.
But it seems to mirror some similar statements of faith that are recorded by St. Paul. So some think that it's within the first century, certainly by the third, fourth century. I'd say we could safely date it at least within the third century.
Gotcha. Okay.
Right.
The first article of the Creed is, and you just mentioned the three articles that, as Luther broke it down, each article referring to or describing one of the persons of the Godhead, and the first article being about God the Father and creation. I believe in God the Father Almighty, maker of heaven and earth. It's one simple sentence. It's all comprehensive, but Luther goes a little further and, as is his wont, explains it in greater detail. Pastor, can you give us the explanation?
Yes. What does this mean? I believe that God has made me and all creatures, that he has given me my body and soul, eyes, ears, and all my members, my reason and all my senses, and still takes care of them. He also gives me clothing and shoes, food and drink, house and home, wife and children, land, animals, and all I have. He richly and daily provides me with all that I need to support this body and life. He defends me against all danger and guards and protects me from all evil. All this he does only out of fatherly divine goodness and mercy, without any merit or worthiness in me. For all this it is my duty to thank and praise, serve and obey him. This is most certainly true.
All right, so I want to focus on that sentence. He defends me against all danger and guards and protects me from all evil. If you have faith, if you believe that this statement is correct, that God defends us, that God actively protects us from evil and danger, why do you need a gun?
Well, one of my favorite Luther quotes, and I've said this before, is that no one sits on his couch with an open mouth and expects a roasted chicken to fly into it. I'm grossly paraphrasing there. That's not the exact quote word for word, but that in essence is what Luther says. And what I mean by that, why I'm prefacing my comments with that, is that our God defends us through various means. And we could take a look at Romans 13, where it talks about the civil authorities that have been put in place for our good. Part of that is our protection, to reward those who do good, to punish those who do evil.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the means, quote unquote, that our God uses to defend us.
Right.
He also grants us a rational human mind that we can recognize danger and flee from it. And he also gives us the ability to defend ourselves, if necessary, with force. I don't think Luther would have ever argued that, if you have a band of thieves breaking into your house that are armed and ready to do harm to you, that you are just to sit there and do nothing because God's going to defend you.
Right.
Hey, dummy, go get that kitchen knife and defend yourself.
Right.
It's so, in other words, what we could say is that, yes, God has promised to protect us, He protects us because we are his creation. He has created us in his own image. If we look at, for example, Matthew chapter 6, if our God takes care of the birds of the air and the flowers of the field and so forth, isn't he also going to take care of you? But our God, of course, he uses various means. We don't sit around doing absolutely nothing saying, yeah, God's promised to take care of me. You wonder then why you end up being evicted and homeless and starving to death because you were so darn lazy that you didn't bother to give a job. And God, because he's created you, gave you the ability to work so that you can provide for yourself. He provides you with employment, and then you in turn, through your labor, you provide for yourself and for your family. So we cannot, take a look at those words and say, well, you just don't have to worry about anything. Do absolutely nothing. Don't lock your doors. Don't be armed. Don't try and resist somebody who comes to do you harm because God's going to take care of you. I guarantee you, everybody who has had that philosophy towards an imminent threat and did absolutely nothing, they either ended up injured or dead.
And those birds of the field that Jesus refers to, they don't sit around and do nothing and just expect to be fed. They gather and they build nests and that sort of thing. So when Jesus is referring to those animals as being provided for by God, he's talking about the means that by which they are providing for themselves.
Right. Absolutely.
Gotcha.
Absolutely. God gives us the means, but he's not going to sit there and go to work for us and clock in and earn our paycheck on our behalf.
Right. If you enjoyed this clip of Armed Lutheran Radio, be sure to subscribe to this channel. Also, check out our podcast, Armed Lutheran Radio, if you enjoy these kinds of discussions about the moral and ethical issues surrounding gun rights and gun ownership. If you would like to support our mission and hear more, keep us doing what we do, then be sure to check out the Reformation Gun Club. We are listener supported, and that means that we don't have advertising. We don't have any sponsors. We rely on our listeners to keep us going. So you can check out all of that and get access to lots of exclusive content for as little as $1 a month. Look for a link in the show notes for our website and for the Reformation Gun Club as well, plus any other helpful links related to today's topic. Thank you all for watching. Christ's blessings to you, and I'll talk to you next time.